And watch Dekakakwa get to go what said watcha then said wano honkwa ni onwe o te to sa o wenzade ne kwachi gat e akwara wane ha koya da gosta ne to e hot I ha do ho sa o wenzade. We
say we're Indigenous peoples, we're First Nations peoples. In this state called Canada, this nation state, there's 634 First Nations across Canada. 634. Over 65 different nations and tribes in terms of languages. Many different nations and tribes. Mi'kmaq, Maliseet, Pasquimawati, Mohawk, Onondaga, Cayuga, Dene, Cree, Blackfoot, Northern Shoshone, Southern, like there's 65. And we say we're First Nations people, are Indigenous peoples. And so this morning it is my task to welcome you all to Canada. And those tribes we say, or those nations we say, we're about 4% or 4.5% of Canada's population, about 1 million people, First Nations people across this land. But we don't say we're an ethnic minority. We're Indigenous peoples. And we have those 5 elements that are so important for that right to self-determination to be recognized. We have our own languages, our own lands, our own laws, our own peoples, and our own identifiable forms of government. 5 elements, very important. And that language is so fundamental to our identity. That right to self-determination. And we have rights, inherent rights, Aboriginal rights, treaty rights. But we also have responsibilities. Responsibilities given to us by the Creator to look after the land and water. Very important task to us. And in this country called Canada, in the Munya way, our relatives' way, that white man way, there's common law, they say, and there's civil law in this country. 2 laws. But there's also a 3rd law, very important law that must be recognized. Creator's law, natural law, First Nations law, if you will. And there has to be space in this great land for those laws to be recognized, because, my friends and relatives, I'm going to close with our worldview as First Nations peoples. And this gathering here is so important. This Parliament of World's Religions. Parliament of World's Religions. Thousands of people from around the world. Spiritual people, spiritual leaders, people that pray. People of spirit. So we acknowledge that. And so when we come together as the 2-leggeds, that's why we say we see no color sometimes. We're the 2-leggeds. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, pink, red, or purple. We're the 2-leggeds. And so we're part of that environment. We're part of that worldview. We're part of that family. And that's so important to recognize now in 2018, because there's a big challenge. There's a big global challenge we must work together to fix and correct. And that is climate change, and that's the greenhouse gas emissions that are coming, and the pollution to this world, to this land and water. And so we need everyone to put our energies and our thoughts and our minds and our prayers, how we can keep that family that I just described healthy for future generations. 7 generations, Otini, in the future, Otini, Gan, down that future road that we must put our hearts and minds together. And if we can use that worldview in everything we do, locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, we'll have something for those 7 generations down the road.
We acknowledge that without the Spirit, we can't do this. So we call the attention of the Spirit to be in every way with us. as we conduct the ceremony, or as we do the teachings, or sing the songs, or carry on with the meetings that are being held. Spirit is forever. We are charged almost as a responsibility to find the best way to pursue our lives so that the Spirit can express herself in the world in which we live. That's the kind of life the Creator gave us to live. And He gave us the means to experience that. We, each one of us, according to our understanding, personally, I can say, I am a spirit who is walking through this world. I am a spirit who is experiencing life in this world. I have reached out and touched life, and I have touched life deeply. Being spiritual is being of the way of the Spirit. We were given a way to live in this world as the Spirit, touching this life and experiencing this life directly. We have to believe in the beauty of this world. And as Indigenous people of this earth, we need to feel good about ourselves. And we need to look into the teachings that we have to find those ways. But the Creator wanted there to be life. That's the way of the Spirit. You guys.
He who walks above the ground for sharing with us here today.